But to me, in terms of execution, it's ONIC. How about you?
All troops deployed.
I gotta agree. I feel like that's gonna be. It does feel like ONIC can just roll on anyone with any composition, right? And they have been known to, in the previous season, they've been known to pull off heroes that no one even thought about using and still win using those heroes. So a lot of Hilda players out there in the chat are like super crazy right now. Hey, they're using my hero finally. But it is in the hands of ONIC, so I'm not super scared. Although usually we would be.
And the fact that ONIC PH have this double assassin setup, all the more means that they have this early game progression or the early game potential, like what we're seeing right now. The first blood is in the hands of Natalia, which is looking pretty good because that damage output could really escalate quickly come the late phases of the game.
That's true. Again, the damage is all... It's all about the damage here for all of these guys, actually. Especially for STI. They're just going all out here. And exactly what is happening here, all out action on the mid lane with Jay to be pulled back in there by the Minstar's Spear of Glory, right? Something like that. That's how often this hero gets picked. We barely know the spear's name. Anyway, looking good so far still for ONIC, though. They are playing around, they are still getting advantages, and that's going to be the next war going down there from Wise.
Yeah, basically to me, I think this is just them dancing around the map area right here. But again, going back to what I mentioned earlier, they have this double assassin setup. And okay, it may sound greedy, or people might think that, oh, they might, go and really share some of the resources here into our map. But that's the thing. The fact that ONIC PH can, really be versatile and, kind of take turns in terms of getting the economy is something that you have to take into account. And like what I said, they're just really playing games, and to really expected performance from them. Even though that this is just, I think this is more of a flex gaming, they could still really pull it off.
Absolutely. I think ONIC is still in a pretty good position here, despite, The only thing that I don't like about the ONIC draft is the lack of crowd control. Their crowd control is basically all on to Venus. Otherwise, everyone is on damage mode and on execute mode, which Wolf is super happy to see, obviously. And on the top side, that's gonna be just Delor just hanging out, giving out kills casually here and there and giving control of the top side over to STI. But ONIC, they don't seem to mind. They don't look like they're on panic mode just yet. They seem very confident they can still win this.
Oh, yes, and speaking of confidence, Jay going a bit of overboard right there and runs to safety. But will be 3-manned up by STI, and I like it how STI is still not being deterred and still getting everything that they needed to in terms of the economy. And like what you said earlier, you are right. I mean, they do lack the crowd control for the side of ONIC PH, but they are compensating it in a way that they are grouping up together and getting some skirmish fights whenever they roam. And the thing is, the fact that the resources are there and that is their major priority could compensate for that lack of crowd control if ever they manage to really dominate onto the early game. But speaking of that, looks like X-Borg here will be having a kill for himself, really preventing them from getting this turtle take. And it looks like the main strategy of STI right here, because in terms of crowd control, STI has it, right? All they have to do is just utilize it to their efficiency, in which that they could, at least reach this into a middle game.
I mean, that's what we're looking for, right? For them to finally use an advantage that they have taken in the draft. Because I think the draft is just really great for STI. So well-rounded. Every checkbox, every box is checked. There's a checkbox in every box. Check mark in every box.
Wow.
Man, I am messing that up. So the turtle is going to be the next target here, and no contest for STI. They are still very scared about the damage output that ONIC PH can dish out. But it's happening right now here in a very, very tight spot around the jungle area. Very vulnerable if Jay wants to go in with that Natalia, but that's not going to be a point here. They go on the tower. We taking the fight in our hood, and they are getting 1-for-1 so far. Wise could be in danger here. Oh my Venus still there on the back line for that firepower that they very much need. And they will be able to escape with barely anyone going down.
Barely is the word that we have right here, Rockhart, because even though that STI had both of the teams had a one trade-off for each team, it's to me the damage output of STI is still not enough. They have to create a lot of space for Lembot right here to just really, have this potential free hitting capacity. But the problem is the damage output of both the Natalia and the Hayabusa is something not to be neglected, because look at that. It's just really one perfect combo for Natalia, and it's wipeout for that Kaja earlier. And the transitioning in terms of roaming around the map is really in a timely manner wherein ONIC PH needed the response the most.
And the timing is actually what they're playing around, right? They're playing around the timings where they can do stuff like that. But right now, again, they are starting to get limited around the map. And STI, they had a small opening, but they're not really fully utilizing it. Going for the tank here. Yakno going down on that Uranus. Very well played here from the two tank supports, I would say, for STI. Didn't even need the help of Lembot in that one. Top lane, though, will be punished very, very heavily by ONIC PH. D-Lar as well as Jay still roaming around and maybe fishing for a kill.
Turtle resurrecting soon.
Yeah, because I think that is the best option for STI to go through. Just getting some pickoffs, take everything what they need. So far they're like bourgeois, because they're like middle class people, but they need to get more than what they can. So I think that's like the main strategy for STI right here, since we are now looking at limited resources on their side, because they're just the only resources that they have are the incoming minions. And here, unfortunately, they weren't able to contest the turtle. It could have been a potential team fight right here. Hayabusa going in, but he is going to be cornered in return, and the Kari will be having that compensation, getting that kill. But I think they're not enough. Kari will be stuck by the Voliere and goes for that shutdown. But again, Dilar here on the top side, though, really good at applying the pressure for that split push.
That was actually a great play around the King's Calling, very much utilizing the King's Calling into the Guardian's Barrier combo by Dogman and Lord. But the problem is, the targets are there. They are locked in a secure, a tight area. But the damage, the follow-through, very, very severely missing here for ONIC PH. And that is what's happening here on the draft that they have, especially with RGP on the arrival. A huge lack of amount of damage.
And this is where we are starting to see the tricky situation for the side of STI. They have that crowd control, sure, but they're not using it into the efficiency. Why? Because this is what we've been talking about earlier, the early game aggression. But then again, they are retaliating with a good combo done by the Kaja carry. And if they've managed to do this right, they could still make things through. But this is the question, though, up to what extent? And this is good for the side of STI because they're giving space to Lembot, they're giving the pickoffs to him, and really utilizing the mispositionings of the assassins on the side of ONIC PH.
Well, look at that. They're actually doing it. And Lembot feeling very confident with Dogman right behind him. That's actually saying something, considering they can't insta-kill Lembot already. Because if you cannot insta-kill the marksman, that's great. The marksman will probably have a fun time in this one. As long as they don't collapse, as long as it's not a 5-man collapse, right? As long as it's like 2 people, the marksman can survive, they will be ahead. And Lembot can farm. And that's what they want. That's all they want. Give Lembot the farm, right?
Yes, because that is because I think right here Lembot is the key to actually having that potential epic comeback. But up to what cost again? Hayabusa will be stealing the turtle, and down goes one of the members, which is their key player, which is going to be the Lembot going here for the assassination. Let's see if they will be going up against the aggression. Last insanity will be used, but up to no luck. They will be dispersed, forcing to go back away. And this leaves ONIC PH again, more space, more economy for them. And this is gonna leave STI a difficult time into really compensating for their loss, because that's 4 people to none.
This is what I was talking about. The moment that ONIC decides to make a collapse, it's beautiful. The damage output is unbearable, even for the tanks. Lord is the first one running. He's leaving everyone behind. See, so
Yes.
I feel like that just goes to show that displays the dominance right now of ONIC PH in terms of that pure damage output.
Yes, because even if they do have that fundamental draft, they still require the time for economy and for scaling in terms of items and of course them being tanky in general. Sure, we are saying that the Grok and let's say the Mincetar and the Xborg as well in terms of survivability is a bit of there's a specific time for that, but the thing is it's not utilized because of, again, the damage output that two of these assassins from ONIC PH are bringing. And the more that you give them pickoffs, the more damage that they would get. And just looking here into the gold, actually, this doesn't really matter, but I just like to highlight the gold is kind of really starting to widen in terms of gap.
5,000 gold lead is actually quite substantial, especially if all that gold is in an assassin. 4-1 and 3 on Wise, 3-2 and 9 on Jay. Jay is getting all of the assists in this game. That is actually where you want to be, but for the meantime, where they want to be is not inside the King's Calling once more. Dogman locks down Jay on that Natalia. Great hook in, but everyone else from ONIC, they are seeking revenge. They are going in Wise with those shurikens, and Delar following suit onto that Hilda. No one can stop him. He's just going in. Last Insanity by RGP barely does any damage at all. And Lord, he is helpless. Everyone is down. No one to do the damage. They are now forced to just stay there and keep the tower alive, which is not happening right now. So somehow they were able to clear up the minion waves at least, but the top lane Argon is going to be very open. Lord will be a very real objective as well. And now what can STI do?
Again, Rockhart, this is a similar one-sided play that we are witnessing for the side of ONIC PH, and I like their strategy earlier, but before that, again, objective-wise, ONIC PH does not really want to falter into that aspect, and so down goes the Lord into their hands, really securing more pressure for the side of STI. And STI right here, like what I said, take more than what is needed, and this is what they're doing, taking all the resources that they can in a very limited space. So what I would like to go back earlier, Rockhart, is that okay, they managed to pick off Jay, but up to what cost? Again, it's another multiple loss rather for STI, because they have to take note that they still had the Hayabusa up on their sleeve into the backlines, waiting for the carry to actually go, in a position wherein he could be in danger. And that's what just happened earlier.
Again, that carry is basically carrying the whole STI at this moment.
Carry!
The export doesn't actually have any damage, right, at this point, not that much. It's just trying to scare people off, just trying to tank all of the damage, but overall it is just onto Lembot. Lord is doing his very best to keep Lembot alive, but again, so many targets on ONIC PH, you gotta choose. You gotta choose which one you want to take down.
Yeah.
And they're having a hard time in doing that.
Yeah. But I just really like to highlight for the side of STI, so far the Kaja Divine Judgment alongside with the carry free hits is doing well. But the problem is it's being retaliated rather by ONIC PH, into getting the squishier targets. And that's the problem. And right now, seeing on the top side, it's going to be the pressure. Let's see who is going to go down first. Iakno with the Brick of Health manages to disengage and back away.
Well, that is absolutely true. Man. So, what's the comeback here for STI? Like, who do they target in ONIC PH to actually get back in this game? Like, I feel like even if you take down Jay, even if you take down Wise, like, everyone is pretty good. We don't care. You already used your ultimates. We will barrel down and collapse on you. I think that's been the battle plan of ONIC PH for the past few minutes now, right?
Yes.
And to be honest, I've been watching the streams of Venus yesterday. She's been spamming that Grok. I feel like they wanted to get the Grok. And Delar is
Oh.
just a placeholder here
Oh.
for the Hilda. And here
Oh.
comes the collapse here for ONIC PH. Everyone from STI seems to be still alive except for Lembot. That is a big problem. What do you do now that you're carry? And the man, that Mincetar is already down for the count.
Oh.
Apparently, nothing.
Yeah, that was in terms of initiation, it was a good lockdown for the side of STI, but then again, they weren't able to capture one of the core damagers of ONIC PH. That's why the tables have turned around. And you have to take into consideration the items and the golden resources that ONIC has that really lived up to its expectations. And going back right here, like what you said, what will they do without the carry and without Dockman as well? They have no choice but to back away and to really defend with all their might. Because if ever they fail or they have one more, kill for the side of ONIC PH, it's gonna be, this game will be on the side of ONIC. And that is what STI needs to prevent right now.
Yeah, that's what we're looking for as well. I mean, all eyes on Lembot. I wish I could open up the item check just to see what Lembot has, because, man, this guy has so much pressure on him. I wonder how he's holding up right now. ONIC, I feel like everyone in ONIC is a core right now for some reason. The amount of damage that they can do, everyone's a core. What's gonna happen here? I'm not sure who's gonna go down first. Apparently, that will be the Grop. Very, very squishy at the hands of that Valier. The flames are really soaring and searing into the target, but so they're able to catch. Oh my god, Yakno might be under a lot of problems here as he is taken down under the tower. Again, getting hooked in by Dockman on the Mincifar.
That was a good pickoff for the side of STI right here.
Great
and again,
pickoff.
this will give them a certain amount of space to just really go and take whatever they can. But going back right here, looks like another skirmish will be coming into play. Hayabusa, let's see, Mincetar will be going to play Hayabusa with the potential assassination, but look at his HP right here. Will be ganged up by members of STI. Flicker will be used alongside with the Divine Judgment, and the carry will go for the cleanup, but this is not yet over. Take note, STI will be having another pickup for himself, and they are in a very good position to go for this Lord. But I think they would be going greedy as, oh my Venus, is here, but the pause is what make things uncertain. You know, that
Seriously,
was a bit
though.
of a suspense factor. Okay,
Yeah.
I was in the middle of saying something very, a very, what do you call this, epic, but then suddenly the pause happens and it just made me okay.
That was very unfortunate, but at the same time, the only thing that was registering in my head there is he's finally alive. Lembot finally survived a team fight without dying altogether, and I think that is the biggest thing there in that fight. And not to mention, they were in the Lord area. They were in the Lord area when that happened, so they can transition this.
This is the key.
Utilize some of that offensive. What's gonna happen to STI here, and how are they playing in the mindset that they have right now at a 0 win for the whole season? That is huge. That is actually so difficult for me to. There you go. Welcome again to the English stream for the Mobile Legends Bang Bang Professional League. That's the first thing that I actually opened up here. We definitely have to speak in English for them to understand. So I hope you guys understand that as well. Hi to Carlo. Hi to Yuan. There you go. To Bremen. What's up to Marlon? There you go. And if you guys are wondering, we are currently on a short break here because we are waiting for what happened. I'm really actually curious what happened. There you go. I think we're going back into the game. We just went on a short pause because we experienced technical difficulties. But apparently, we are back here into the game here for STI versus ONIC PH. All right. So we are going here. I wonder what happened to say about the Lord. Has already been taken here by STI, and the kill for Lemba. Who would have thought? That is actually quite amazing. Oh my god, a lot of people are down here. Iyaknov down for the count for 40 seconds. Now, what can STI do with this window that they have. Are they just gonna farm the side waves, or are they gonna go with this Lord? I think they really, really should go with this Lord here. Please, please, please go for the Lord. And I think they are gonna do that right now. Buff gonna be taken there real quick by Lembo. Defense gonna be happening here for ONIC PH. Lord rushes into that tower. And mid lane turret, second tower will go very, very quickly. Now, he's gonna be here for the invade into the base of ONIC PH. Oh my god, where is he at when you need him? Oh, that is gonna be a open base for ONIC PH, but they are still able to defend. They're able to clear up those minion waves finally. And now it's gonna be the comeback. The gold is actually evening up here for STI, and this could be their chance to take a game for ONIC from ONIC PH. Wow, what a big turn of events that we had right there. That is amazing. My gosh. All right, so very, very interestingly, I think Wolf will be joining us, right? Are you there, Mr. Wolf?
I am here. Hello.
Hey!
I'm here. All right, I'm not Seiya, guys.
Awesome.
For ONIC PH. I think that they have to reset. Now, it's going to be hard though, because they don't have a late game lineup. Lembot is playing the carry, and this is obviously a late game composition. But look at that, how they were able to pop the Firaga. Oh, no, this is bad. STI, nobody is defending the base.
Stop.
And they can't recall.
5 people.
They can't recall.
Oh no!
Nope.
They're stopping. Everyone from ONIC must be saying, back to base, back to base. Our base is hit. STI is now in panic mode. Oh my god, the duo.
Oh
Wow,
my
okay.
goodness.
Oh, what's happening? Ah! Oh my Venus gets the kill on the right. Oh my god, the humanity, the base of STI suddenly got destroyed.
You know what I
Oh,
love about
what
this,
happened?
Brackhart? We are seeing the expressions from Osiris and Manjin that they are so surprised. That's not even scripted at all, man. The game
Oh
doesn't
my
matter
God.
anymore. ONIC PH,
I
man.
know, I know. What is
Oh
happening?
my
What-
goodness.
Oh, that feels so
Oh,
bad for STI, but at the same time, they can still defend if RGB can pull off, can clear the minion
they
wave,
can't,
but he's
man.
going for the heroes, and that will be it. Wolf